Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Matty Carlo with your State of the Game recap and weekly news for the week of June 6th. I actually waited to do this a couple days because I wanted to see Hamish's stream yesterday. It was said that he was going to be streaming 1.7 content, but he actually didn't. So, I just wanted to sit down and, give you guys all the information and bring you guys the most up-to-date information that you guys need to know, more than just me repeating the actual state of the game in an as an unfunny wanker, and nothing anywhere near funny British humor news recap. So without further ado, let's break down this week's state of the game and bring you some news that wasn't said in that. And it's not news. 1.7 still has no release date. Once a release date is announced, I am sure they will have a special state of the game that will be no less than an hour, and you'll need to watch the entire thing as they divvy out the dates during the entire thing, starting at the beginning with a 7 and moving on to 30 minutes, where it will most certainly give you another number followed by the final 4 digits, which will be 2017 near the end, just so you know it's not going to be in 2018, although without a date, one can only guess. It was said, though, that this week or next, or the term that was used was in the coming weeks, we will get the initial 1.7 patch deployed to the public test servers. While it was initially said that 1.7 would have a console test server, no indication during this week's State of the Game showed that the console test server would launch at the same time as the PC test server. We will keep you up to date as more information is announced surrounding this. Until then, keep testing 1.6.1 and sending your bug reports and feedback for all of that to the Ubisoft Division forums. It was reported that some people saw during one of the videos a couple weeks back a strange room with a bunch of gear sets, and it appeared that these were some sort of changing rooms. Division agents speculated that these were new features coming to 1.7. However, during the live stream yesterday with Hamish, he did in fact show these rooms off and confirm that they were development tools used by the devs to test out gear sets. So, bummer for you guys out there, it is not anything new. We're not getting some sort of changing room or anything like that. It is a development test tool, and that's it. In other world news, global modifiers were discussed during the State of the Game, and some of the new features were shown on the live State of the Game. We have some footage of these events right here. As you can see, the global event or world events were displayed during the broadcast, marked on the map by a purple hue. When players went to these, they were given information regarding the global modifier and what it would do. This one here shows that the enemy's head will explode and inflict bleed damage to those NPCs around them. They did say it was only applicable to NPCs, but when it exploded and they were too close, the player actually took bleed damage, and so we went ahead and reported that bug. But I am interested to see what these new modifiers are. It was reported that global modifiers will always be positive modifiers to the player. Hopefully this isn't hooked into the same system that gave us our daily and weekly missions, because we all know who have been here from the beginning how that turned out for the most part when they only worked 50% of the time. In addition to this, there is a brand new currency, because if the Division is one thing, it is a currency machine. And because this isn't just the news, I'm happy to make a small editorial on things. One of my biggest gripes here in the Division is the use of currency to separate events and incursions and whatever else. So now we have regular, let's just break down all of currency right now. Regular currency is right now rendered useless by anything other than recalibrating, but you still need a second currency type to access it, and those are Phoenix credits, and you need those to recalibrate your weapons and gear as well. Third, we have Dark Zone currency, useful for almost nothing unless you are in the Dark Zone and have a hankering for one of the god-rolled weapon attachments that occasionally pops up in there. Then we have the Intel currency, used to buy HVTs, and oh, don't forget the currency you need to purchase modifiers for the Underground. So in the grand scheme of things, they are adding a brand new currency, another currency, because the new vendor couldn't see his way to accept anyone else's currency. Any of the other previous currencies, no good in this currency vendor. Maybe someday they'll have a currency converter that will actually go up and down with the market, and you'll be able to change currency over, and oh, and I almost forgot this. Premium credits. There's another currency. So there you go. This game actually has more currency than there are RNG combinations. Now, I exaggerate that just a little bit, but there are actual more currency types than actual usable gear sets and weapons in this game. Maybe to fix the loot, we have a loot vendor that sells high-end loot that you would get from drops and eliminate drops from anything that you do. You just get currency, and you just make it that you can go and buy the items that you want. want, and we eliminate 99% of the need for any loot drops. Wouldn't you rather get a currency drop and choose what you want to buy, even if they're, a billion currency? At least you would know that you were doing a mission for a reason, and you would eliminate RNG, and you'd actually get the stuff that you want. And that reason would be that, you could get a Barrett's chest piece, at least back in the day, and currency RNG would at least allow you to purchase the item that you wanted and not run Lexington Event Center 2500 like poor Andrew Kapler, who finally got his chest piece after about 2,000 runs. Congratulations to Andrew Kapler on this job. But here's the real kicker. They're adding in this new currency, and the currency are tokens. And the tokens go to this souvenir vendor, and you exchange them for caches, and there's lots of different caches and all that stuff, and different tiers and stuff like that. And you go there, and, you do the modifier, and it gives you, 100, and then you do an activity. But let's go ahead. Okay, now back to the news. In addition to the global modifier providing you with tokens, which is the new currency, to complete these missions, you can add another activity modifier that will increase the amount of tokens you get once you complete the mission. No doubt there will be glitches coming out after the release of 1.7 showing you exactly how to get unlimited tokens. I guarantee it. Alright, and finally, with this new currency that I just went over in depth about, there is a new section in the terminal. It appears they took down the wall near the blueprint vendor, just like they removed the bathrooms in the boo between 1.4 to bring us the terminal. This new area will feature a souvenir vendor that sells caches and doodads that you can spend your hard-earned tokens on that, that basically if they knock down a wall and they add a new vendor, you have to have a new currency. They are still silent as to what you can buy or actually what you get from the caches, but much like the underground vendor originally, there will be a cache tier, so you have to slowly make your way through it. You go through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and get those caches. There will be cache tiers, so you won't always get or be able to get the highest reward stuff, because they don't want people to get the best stuff right off the bat, and then they don't want to do the content anymore and it gets stale. It's got to last, people. This is basically it until like the winter. And so we got to make this last all summer. So, all right. And along with the vendor, there will be leaderboards in this room for those people who need a boost to their e-penis or their ego. Much like the leaderboards in the Dark Zone, it will be a rotating board with different objectives. I am sure there will also be rewards once the boards are reset, although I rarely see anyone talking about the rewards that they get from the Dark Zone leaderboards or see anyone talking about getting anything significant. Hopefully this will be different, as they have said that they will be giving out new vanity items, and as I said before, if there is anybody running a pink bunny costume or an astronaut costume or any crap like that, I will officially quit this game, because I know that once those costumes come in, they signify the end of the gritty realism that is the Division, and the fact that they would add these items over meaningful content should be construed as a slap in the face to anyone playing this game still. I mean, come on, hunters are still only in survival. They still seem to only be a threat when there is a heavily snowstorm out there, and they most likely will never make it into the actual game, despite the fact that having a global modifier that turns them on, or a level that has them in there as the end boss, would be the ultimate test of skill, and would actually be awesome and cool, and would make for a great change in the Division content otherwise. I mean, seriously, why not add hunters anywhere in the game outside of survival? Maybe survival is just a dream and the hunters don't actually exist. You can go ahead and discuss that conspiracy theory amongst yourselves and leave it down in the comments as to what you think. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the full state of the game, which is somehow packed with more information than last week's, yet was 20 minutes shorter. Head over to the Division Twitch channel and watch that, listen, and hear them explain the entire thing step by step. You'll get some good information. It was actually one of the most interesting state of the games that I've seen in a while, but they had a lot of information, and somehow it was 20 minutes shorter than the video that they did last week, which is 40 minutes and had zero information. So that's all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. If you liked what you heard and you want more, drop a like, share this video, and subscribe for more Division news content. If you heard any rumors about the Division, or you just want to send me misinformation, please go ahead and follow us on Twitter or send us an email. For all of us here at the Division News and State of the Game Recap for the week of June 6th, I am Manny Carl, and we'll see you in the next broadcast. Agent out.